Hello, everybody. This is Love from Above by your sibling spirit guides. I'm Maureen, and this is my brother.
Hey Maureen, hey everyone, this is Brian.
Oh my gosh, we're so happy to be here. If you can believe it, on this podcast, we share daily channelings we receive from star beings, ascended masters, mythical beings who really exist, and occasionally our ancestors. And today's topic is about universal laws. Brian, what's one universal law that you can think of? I mean, I feel like we don't know the universal laws, the laws that, affect everything that we do in our lives.
Yeah, I think we've touched on some other of these in the past. I think galactic laws or some other, I can't remember, but it's interesting. I think it's interesting stuff and it all makes sense to me. So looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah, so we're going to cover the Pleiadians discussing natural laws that they've discovered, laws regarding manifestation, which, come on, we all need to review those laws. And of course, we're all about love here. So, laws about love. So, you want to kick us off with Love Rules All from January 12th, 2025, Brian?
Yeah, so it says there are many who can speak today on the regalities of the natural flow of life. We marvel at how humans fail to recognize these natural laws which govern all creation, whether on this planet or on another. For love is the ultimate ruling force of all creatures everywhere. If humanity truly understand these natural laws, there would be no aggression, no hurtful words said between one loved one to another. Oh, how we long for the days of old to return to Earth so that Earth's inhabitants can experience the loving embrace of the one creator through the energetic flow that is augmented by this loving process. So interesting. When they reference the days of old, is that would you equate that to Atlantis or what do you
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I would take it to the last like golden ages
Yeah.
of Atlantis and Mu and all of those times, like, 25,000 years ago. But yeah, and it's interesting. It's still a lesson like that I'm reminded of. There was something, I don't even remember, something I was annoyed with or frustrated with. And of course, I pulled a tarot card and was like, how do I handle this situation? What's the best way forward? And of course, it was a Six of Pentacles, which is what you give out is what you receive. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, we gotta get everything on the highest vibration of love. So it is still something that, just recently I had to be reminded of because, what we put out there is what comes back to us. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. No aggression, no hurtful words between one loved one another.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So I'll go on to the next one, which was from April 29th of 2024. And this is the concept of the whole from our good friends, the Watchers, who we hear from quite frequently. And they said, Dearest one, we are here to share the truth, which is obscured for most humans. They live unaware of the true nature of reality, unaware of the laws which guide their days and nights. For now, we bring your attention to the concept of the whole. There is not one crack of separation between you and the Almighty. You are the breath with which the One speaks. Your movement takes the Creator into new realms of exploration, new feelings to experience, new knowledge to attain and explore. When the concept of the whole is viewed correctly, you shall see there is no other. The bombastic rituals of your electoral process become ridiculous feats. When viewed from the whole, a life can be seen as an expression, one brushstroke in a masterful painting. For it is not in your life alone that the miracle of creation is spawned. It is in the general tendencies of the whole. For now we see many are united in a loving purpose, which brings us deep satisfaction. Brian, I find this really profound, really, really profound. There's not one crack of separation between us and the Almighty. We're the breath with which the one speaks. Our movement takes the one creator into new directions. I mean, wow. And I
Yeah.
love the idea of one, we're just a brushstroke, one brushstroke in a masterful painting. Wow.
Yeah, and it's true. It's just like, most are unaware that these these laws, these universal laws, eh, and they do throw in about the bombastic rituals of our electoral process. Who can't agree with that, but yeah, in general, I mean, it's a very positive message that I think we all align with, that you and I align with for sure. And that, it's really getting to the heart of what matters, right?
Yeah, and we talked about this in a recent podcast. We got a recent message in was which was talking about taking the broader view. So, it's so easy to get caught up into the intricacies of your own life. And, it's such a big deal that whatever's going on in your life, the drama of your life. I'm reading a book right now, and it talks about, the roller coaster of the drama of your life. And when you connect with the inner soul, the inner light of what you really are, you can just let go. Let go of all the drama and, literally see things from the entire perspective, the perspective, the whole, that you're that one little brushstroke, and you have an important part to play, but you're one brushstroke in the masterful painting, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll continue from October 18th of last year, and it's universal laws from the Pleiadians. We come forth now with the laws for the general populace. How did we be, how did we come upon these established laws? It was through trial and error, but once discovered, these truths hold true throughout space and time. Just like the other thing they said, it's no matter what planet you're on. The first general law is that love can grow or shrink depending upon the individual nature of the holder of the vessel. Interesting. To allow love to grow is similar to that of the flowers and trees in your natural surroundings. One must turn to the light. That's why we caution you strongly about watching, listening, regarding or spreading negative news. Negative actions, harmful actions, violent actions, these are the opposite of turning to the light. You can imagine what a flower looks like after a month entombed in darkness. The same is true for someone who entombs their physical body into violence, watching violent news, playing violent video games, watching violent movies. These are detrimental to one's physical life force. We notice that the humans are quite frequently focused on their health, but their health is secondary to their physical life force, which is why these harmful activities should not be engaged in. So I know we sort of talked a little bit about this in the past, and we both definitely agree with this view, but I think it sums it up very nicely about, not, being exposed to, violence and negative news. What are your thoughts, Maureen?
I just feel like we repeat this message so many times. Like there's so many podcasts where we've talked about this, but obviously it's a message that humanity has not received because we are continuing to send out the message. And when I just flew in. Listeners, I'm so grateful. I'm here visiting Brian at his beautiful home. And when I flew here, Brian, I walking back from the bathroom, you could see what everybody's watching, and so much of it is like bombs going off, guns pointing in people's foreheads, and it's just like, oh my God, oh my God. Because Brian, like, I haven't watched any of that stuff in like a decade. So,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh my God, what is going on? Can you relate?
Yeah, I know everyone's just, and there's just, a lot of stuff that is going on and where the people can get this stuff. And it's like, yeah, I don't want to see anything about that. Yeah. So sometimes it's hard to shield yourself from it because the
Oh
news,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
I definitely avoid it at all costs. So
Yeah.
then they go on with another law. They said we continue with another law and that is that the good nature of all good people. The general attitude of one person is in response to the general program of the individual who is presented before them. Therefore, as you have noticed, people respond in a very loving, caring way to you. This is a response to your general programming. How does one elevate their programming? That is done on an individual basis. We should say that the individual can find the best courses for their advancement in their own personal world. Signs are always left on a minute by minute basis to guide the human to the most desired location. Interesting. So, since they're speaking to you, why don't you explain what's your view of this message here?
Well, the thing that take from this is, do you remember when Thoth came through and said, every person, literally every person has their own unique path. So you can't follow, like, even you, brother, who I esteem so highly, like if a meditation really works for you, I could try it, but I've got my own path to the same end. And it's interesting that signs are always left by minute basis. I mean, it's like people assume, getting divine messages for you and I is has become a routine, but it's really it's a routine. It can be a routine for everybody, absolutely everybody. So, yeah, and as for people responding to you, I mean, you think about two of my greatest teachers, which would be Louise Hay and Byron Katie, and that's part of their major teachings. Louise Hay says that everyone in your life is a mirror for you. And if you don't like what you see in front of you, that's the shadow part of yourself that you don't want to embrace, and you need to love it. You know?
Right.
Uh,
Right.
and Byron Katie, she has that Judge Your Neighbor worksheet, which is free online. And, where you ask these questions to yourself, because guess what? Like that person in your family or at work or your neighbor or whatever who annoys you immensely, it's the same thing. It's the shadow part of yourself that you don't want to look at. And you need to look at it and release. So, yeah, what are your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, I mean, those are two great points. I mean, I think it's we've talked about this before. It's like if you have a problem with the person, it's not their issue, it's your issue. So it is that reflection. So yeah, I think great to hear that people respond so well to you because the way you treat them, and that's how it should be. So hope that makes sense to everyone.
Yeah, and I just came in from China, and I always say, like, people from China are so nice. But I guess I'm being very nice to people in China, and so they guess what? They're very nice to me. So I'll go on with the next one, which is October 25th, 2024, which is manifestation principles. I mean, listen up. We all need this. It says, we shall continue with information for you to share. Thank you for those who endeavor to listen to your podcast. We say that time is now. Now is the moment to kiss your beloved, to start that new diet, to manifest the perfect house, the perfect wife, the perfect whatever it is that you desire. We see that the laws of manifestation are readily taught in a variety of avenues. This is most beneficial for mankind as they awaken from a lengthy slumber. Remember, no one can infiltrate your thought processes without your readily accepting their intervention. Manifestation. How can one manifest in the most beneficial manner? Again, we repeat there is not one recipe. You may like you may be like your own individual scientist and test and see what works for you. The books and materials presently on earth speak as if you follow a certain person's formula, then success must be had. If there is failure, it's blamed on the individual, not on the master teacher. This is incorrect. Every individual is unique. It's like assuming that every person can be a master artist. Some may have a gift with paints and drawings. Others' natural skills may lie with numbers or interacting with animals. The same is true for manifestation. We teach our young ones from a very early age so that they are skilled at finding their own path. In this way, they become our teachers as we discover new ways to bring delightful aspects into our life. Right now, you are monitoring the thoughts, which is always a wise suggestion. But it would be wise for you, Maureen, to just surrender into the moment. You know how. You see how many beings are surrounding you, assisting you at every moment. We ask that you fall back into our loving embrace. Allow us to weave together the optimal future for you and your loved ones. Oh, Brian, I gotta surrender. Surrender more, surrender more, surrender more.
But I think this is really interesting because oh my God, there's so many books and classes and everything you see about manifestation everywhere. It's such a hot topic. And that doesn't work. There's not one formula for everyone. It's everyone's got their unique path. And I think that really resonates with me because I mean, it makes sense. What about, I mean, is that I think it's a great message that there's not just one formula for everyone.
Yeah, and I also love this part because, not to, put blame on yourself or shame. You put up your vision board and you want whatever you want, your new job or your new love life or whatever it is, and it doesn't come, and you're like, what is wrong? Or you say your prayers or rosary or whatever is your access point for sending your requests out the universe. And no, it's like it's I mean, maybe you need to switch the master teacher. That master teacher is not in alignment with who you are, and try something different. And gosh knows, you and Brian, we've gone through. We've read so many of these manifestation books. I mean, I honestly, I think I've read almost every one of them. And yeah, so I love that thought. Like, if there's a failure, it's not necessarily yours. Just move on and try something different, into this experiment that didn't work out and try something else.
Yeah. And I like that they have it right. They teach their young ones from an early age to find their own path. It's instead of, anyway, that seems like the right approach. So yeah, great message there.
Yeah, so I'll close this off with something, a little ditty about the law of love from May 12th, 2024. And it says, I am here to speak about the universal laws of love. Love is a seed that is ever growing, that germinates within the confines of the heart. To love another is to love a positive aspect of yourself. To love another is to fulfill the Creator's wish to spread the love that has been shared so generously with all of creation. Which isn't that true? We receive so much love, and we got to pass it on. We got to pass it on, brother.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Great one. I love the closing.
Yeah. So thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Bye, everyone.